guys, this is Animat, and welcome back to the Muppet Vlog. Now this time we're going to be looking into the 4th episode of Season 3 of The Muppet Show, which features Gilda Radner. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Gilda Radner, she is well known to be one of the original members of Saturday Night Live. In fact, many people have claimed that out of all the original cast members, or at least the female cast members, she was the one that left the biggest impact during that time. In fact, to take a quote from the book We Killed, The Rise of Women in American Comedy by Yale Cohen, it stated, of the 3 female cast members of SNL, Gilda Radner made the deepest impact. There is hardly a female sketch comic today who does not claim Radner as an inspiration for her comedy career. In fact, when you look at many of the celebrities today, even some like Mike Myers, has actually stated that Gilda Radner was a huge inspiration to be a part of the show as well. But the sad and tragic thing that happened to her was that she has unfortunately passed away at the tragically young age of 42 due to ovarian cancer. This is why nowadays there is a group organization called Gilda's Club, which is meant to be a clubhouse for families and friends with cancer, which is founded by Joanna Bull, Radner's cancer psychotherapist, along with her widower, Gene Wilder, and Joe Siegel. And going into the episode that she was in, and you know, honestly, it does make me feel a little bit guilty to say that, like, after the little story that I told you about her dying at a young age, sadly, the episode that she was in, well, it really wasn't all that great, because there really isn't much of a story into it, but rather just random sketches that they try their best to integrate with Gilda Radner. Now, I understand that they would have, like, a mindset, considering that they did brought in a very prominent member of SNL, that usually the comedy would just write itself, like that she would come in and appear onto the Muppet Show and like she'll just roll with the punches. But unfortunately they're not really all that great, because in terms of story per se, they're all based on sketches of like what would happen when Gilda Radner would come in. Like in the first part of it, Gilda Radner wanted to sing what was it, the Pirates of Peninsula, and she wanted to bring in a 7-foot talking parrot, but instead they kind of got the wrong order, and they got Kermit got the wrong order, and instead he brought in a 7-foot talking carrot. So from then on, like what would follow afterwards is just a bunch of food puns and food jokes, and it's just not all that great. It's not really that funny. I mean, like, sure, like, the carrot is probably the highlight of that whole bit right there, considering, like, how creative, like, they made that giant 7-foot talking carrot, singing, like, these old operetta songs. But other than that, it just, wasn't all that great. And on top of that, in the second half, like once that part was over, they decided to move on to a Muppet Labs bit, where Dr. Bunsen Honeydew created this, like, super glue and wanted to test it out on Gilda Radner, but then it really got out of hand, down to the point that everything pretty much got stuck, and they decided to go and make jokes with that. But, like, I will admit, like, it is funny the first time around. Like, it is cute as a Muppet Lab sketch in itself, but I don't really feel like it's the kind of joke that, like, is strong enough to pretty much carry the rest of the episode, because even afterwards, like, they would bring in Rolf and Zoot playing a song called Body and Soul, and then suddenly Rolf's fingers get stuck on the piano, and Zoot's lips get stuck on the saxophone, and then afterwards, Gilda Radner would come in for the grand finale singing Tap Your Troubles Away with everything stuck to her, basically. And what I feel with that is that they're trying to really make such a running gag out of this little joke that could have just worked in a sketch in itself. Like, not necessarily the need of having a special guest star to be involved with this, or really have a lot of the story to go with it, but it just doesn't feel as strong per se. It's just like what's meant to be this small little gag for one sketch, like they really kind of stretched it. And like honestly, not even with Gilda Radner, it's like you could tell that in this episode they really want to prominently display her. They really want to present her comedic talents, but in here, this is not her strongest material. I don't know if this is really Gilda Radner herself, like that she would get involved a bit with the writing, or that the crew didn't really give her that well of a material. I don't know. Usually they're really better than this. I mean, especially after coming out of the last episode with Roy Clark, it's just it's a little bit surprising how like it just didn't come out as funny as it seems to be, especially that like when they're supposed to be at their funniest, considering they did bring in Gilda Radner, like one of the most influential members of SNL, and how it didn't really work out as well, I don't know. But luckily there are a few highlights. Like there are some moments that are pretty good, at least. This is actually the first time ever where we see the Muppet melodrama, where it would include Miss Piggy, Uncle Deadly, and Wayne of Wayne and Wanda. And what would end up happening is that, like, it's kind of your typical old melodrama where Uncle Deadly is the villain and he would have Miss Piggy in peril, but Wayne is supposed to come in to save the day, but like apparently his stupid mindset just isn't really that focused on trying to save Miss Piggy and ends up being distracted, having a little chat with Uncle Deadly. So that one at least is a lot of fun. That one at least is probably the funniest thing that came out of this episode. And there are a few other a few other little song moments that are cute and enjoyable. Like, we got an Eskimo setting for Lullaby on Broadway as the opening number, so that one was actually very nice, and it's more of your standard musical number that you would expect coming from the Muppets. And then also, somewhere in the middle, you also got two different songs where you got Marvin Suggs coming back, and he would sing Witch Doctor, and I think the best way to describe it is that, yeah, they pretty much did it in the Muppet way. Like, there is no other way that you could do it in the Muppet style. Like, that's definitely perfect. But then also you got another, like, turn-of-the-century old-style song where they would sing The Bird on Nellie's Hat. So, I guess, I don't know, I guess it depends on your taste in comedy. If it coordinates with the old-time turn-of-the-century song. Like, maybe your grandma or grandpa will get a laugh at it, but I don't know, we'll see. But other than that, yeah, this is not that great of an episode, to be very honest. I would say that overall, this is probably one of the weaker episodes, where somehow they try to emphasize on comedy, especially the fact that they did bring in Gilda Radner, and like, I forgot to mention as well that she is also an Emmy and Grammy Award winning comedian, so like she definitely has such a huge reputation in the world of comedy, but unfortunately her talents here are not well displayed. They're not really as prominently featured as she would. Like, it doesn't reflect upon her legacy that she left in SNL and stuff like that. It's definitely one of the weaker episodes, and especially how they try to be so dependent on what's supposed to be just these little gags that are just suitable for one little sketch, and they try to extend it into an entire episode, especially like when there's like two different parts entirely, where the first bit is all about the 7-foot talking carrot, and then in the second half is about like this super glue made in the Muppet Labs. It just doesn't feel like a strong episode overall, and I don't know, it's just like this does not, like, not only does it not represent the comedy of Gilda Radner, this does not represent well the comedy of the Muppet Show. So overall, like, this is one of those that I probably recommend that you just go and skip. Like, maybe you could check out a few of the sketches on YouTube. Like, the song itself of the Pirates of Peninsula, like, that's definitely worth watching. That was still fun. Like, also the Witch Doctor bit, the Muppet melodrama, those ones are fine, but the rest, it's kind of skippable. Like, you don't need to check those out. But anyways, that is pretty much going to be it for this episode of the Muppet Vlog, so I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully things will get a bit better upon the next episode. Hopefully things will get a bit better, and if they do bring in another comedian, hopefully the comedy of that person will be featured a lot better. So once again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see you later, dudes!